dark path this particular metaphor can take. And we have to talk about Owlboy. I'm going to kick it over to just Johnny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Owlboy.
Yes, that was you, sir. You're the only Johnny in the room.
Yes.
Just excited for his own thing, and he forgot he was doing it.
So
He's
there's
trying to
this
high-five Bill.
indie game that came out almost a year ago. Got around to playing it, and it's a 2D side-scroll adventure, slight actiony, slight platformy type of game where you're playing as this humanoid owl that cannot speak. So you know how like video game tropes, they have like main characters where they can't speak. Well, this one
revolutionized by GTA 3.
Yeah, and this one is actually embedded in the story. So actually, other characters, the NPCs that you interact with, will poke fun at you for not being able to speak, and will assume that your character is dumber than them because you can't speak. So yeah, it's actually kind of good writing.
Yeah, that's like
or good character design.
Okay, so
I'd say.
bullying simulator Owlboy.
Yeah, so you're going through, and you're sort of like the village dunce in this sort of like this owl village type of thing. And
wait, so it's warranted then? You are like less intelligent than the rest of the town.
You're not. It's just that
Insightful revelation simulator Owlboy.
When you can't express how intelligent you are to other people, they're just going to assume the least. I mean, it's speaking is a part of your expression, and if you can't speak, then you can't fully express yourself, your thoughts, your ideas. Anyway, we're getting way off.
Yeah, a little inside. We'll have some gameplay footage up for you in a bit. Hopefully, we won't get flagged again. YouTube's been on our behinds lately, so we'll see what's going on there.
So the big mechanics on this, as I said, it's kind of like a side scroller, except that because you're an owl, you get to fly around. And there's no like power up you need to get or anything like that. You're flying right off rip, and you start off in a town, and instead of like in this sort of dire situation where you're getting into an action thing, you're in town and you're exploring the town and you're learning about the character himself and their relationship with the other people, and they sort of task you with doing like the dirty work, kind of because you are the village. You know, the dunce.
Yeah, the village idiot. Just say it.
The village idiot.
Wait, so is this one of those RPGs where I'm just doing like BS fetch quests for the whole town for no reason?
It's not an RPG. Like I said, it's more of an adventure platformer action
adventure
game.
roguelike racer.
It's an action adventure platformer. The best I can say, but you know, platformer is a little weird because you're flying around, and it's
an underwater flight simulator.
Yeah, and you can go anywhere. You can go up, down, left, or right. Usually it's like, go scroll left or right.
I'll stop interjecting. I'm sorry.
And so you're exploring around. You interact with the people in the town and stuff like that. The other big mechanic that you have is that you're able to grab onto stuff with your talons. So you can grab onto like vegetables that are in the ground, buried into the ground with like a little, you grab on their leaves and you pluck it out. You can also grab other people, other NPCs, grab them and carry them around. So you're flying around with these people that you're grabbing onto on their shoulders. And that ties into like the main mechanics where you're not really doing much other than flying around. And it's the people that you're carrying, the characters that you carry, they're actually doing the more interesting thing. So one of the characters you get is able to shoot in all directions with his pistol. And a couple other different things. Another one you get, there's like this lady that you can carry, and she has this crutch, and she can sort of swing that crutch like a baseball bat and really beat things away. So if there's like a flying object coming at you, you can sort of baseball swat that away from you and sort of reflect it into other things. So you could picture like mechanics with like bombs that are being thrown at you. You can baseball bat it back at where it came from, or explode walls and stuff like that. So you have to use these characters that you're carrying as Owlboy in order to get through little tiny puzzles, little tiny combat situations, little tiny platforming elements. And along the way on this very linear adventure is little offshoots that you can go through and explore in order to discover some little snippets here and there. So, and that's kind of Owlboy in a nutshell.
Well, you told us about like the mechanics and stuff
Yeah.
like you can do in gameplay, but what's your objective? What's the plot of this stuff? Because it sounds like you're a taxi, you're an errand boy,
Right.
and you're like a gopher for all the other players that are actually playing the game. What do you do?
So you're sort of you're I don't know what the trope is, but you're the character that gets a dire situation sort of thrust upon you, and you are taking action just because you are in a position where you're forced to take action.
You're an unwitting hero.
Yes. So essentially, there's these pirates that just barrage the village that you're in.
Well,
and
we're gonna stop you right there. Anytime you mention pirates, you got to give us at least one. Arr.
They barrage
There you go,
the
thank
village that you're in, and
filled
they
the quota.
attack it, and it gets decimated, and you get knocked away, and you have to try to navigate your way back, and along the way you stumble across these relics, and part of getting these relics and figuring out why the pirates are actually attacking and what they're doing, they end up becoming the ultimate sort of villain as you're going through this adventure, and you discover that the pirate leader is gathering these sacred owl, this ancient owl civilization. They created these sacred artifacts, and this pirate leader is gathering all the artifacts, and along the way he is obliterating all sorts of small villages, very large cities, just by himself, using the power of these crazy powerful artifacts. He's just decimating everything in order to get all of the artifacts, all three of them, and to become essentially immortal. And as you are playing along, this stuff is actually happening as you're going through, and you are a part of it, and you're experiencing it as Owlboy and trying to stop it, and you're failing almost all the time. You go through, and nope, the enemy pirate guy, he's just getting the next relic and the next power up. You're trying to save a city.
Well, okay,
nope, he blows it all up.
Is he just like really good and sadistic, or are you just really bad at the game? Come on, Johnny, fess up.
It's not that you're bad at the game. It's just that's how the story plays out. So it's this adventure that your character is going through, and the story is unfurling as you're going through, and it's a very epic set piece for what looks like a very almost, it's like friendly cartoony sprites, like 2D sprites, like a really nice looking 16-bit like Super Nintendo Genesis
I saw some
style
online.
game.
It looked pretty kiddie, but it looked pretty like friendly. Bright colors.
It does,
the
but
artwork was very lustful.
But the
Lustful,
story.
luscious. It was a lusty kid game.
But the story is it's very dire, and there's as I said, like the main character gets picked on a lot. He never gets full respect out of certain characters. And there's people that are dying. There's graveyards. There's like these touching moments where these other characters are crying because they just lost some loved ones, and this is all happening as you're going through this sort of single player campaign like story experience. And as I said, it's very linear, so you're going from point A to point B to point C. So you're directed in a way, because in the way that you're directed, because this is a game where you're flying, usually you kind of associate, oh, I can fly, I can go anywhere. And that's not necessarily the case. The characters that you get sort of unlock new areas, but it's not Metroidvania. It's really just, now you have this character that unlocks this whole next linear section of the world. So you're going from essentially one level to another without actually there being defined levels. And along the way, it's a very epic, grandiose adventure that is, not only does the artwork look incredible, but the music is equally incredible and suits the tone of the story really well. So
okay, see, I'm glad that matches up, because from what you were saying, it sounded like kind of a superficial game, very bright colors, and almost on rails gameplay that didn't really offer much in the term of by ways of like surprises for the player or any real challenge. It sounded like almost, I guess a good example would be maybe like Mario Party. A series of mini games. You do this, you accomplish this. You go here, you accomplish this. You go here, you accomplish this, without any actual sense of progression for the player. And you're saying that's not the case, because what I'm getting, sorry, because what I'm, okay, sorry, before I jump ahead, dude, what were your impressions? Because maybe I'm way off base here.
Yeah, it is where you're sort of hinting towards. It is something that my impression it's just a very interesting story that you're going through with very grandiose set pieces that you are experiencing, and it's not letting up. There's no major moments where the situation starts to stagnate or anything like that, because there's always something to do, and as you're going through it, new stuff is happening, and it's happening all the time. You're either going to engage with brand new characters or go through an entire sequence. There's one entire sequence where the pirates are laying siege to the big giant city, and you are leading the defensive counterattack against the pirates. And throughout the entire thing, there are explosions going on. There's bombs being set off. You're attacking the pirates. The gameplay, as you're sort of going through some of these levels, it'll range from like solving a puzzle, or doing like almost like a quasi bullet hell. You are flying around and there's enemies shooting at you,
Okay,
bullets
so
all over the place. So it's definitely varied, and you have to sort of utilize the different characters that you are carrying, and you can sort of switch between them on the fly, and you have to sort of avoid the attacks that are coming at you while also figuring out how to kill the enemy, not just by shooting them through like a regular means, but some of them require deflecting their own attacks against them, or utilizing the environment to take them out.
Okay, so then next time, like, you start with that. 'Cause I got basically a game that you could sleep through. Okay, so what would you say? End of the day, is this the thumbs up, thumbs down? Because I'm getting one, but like you threw me a couple of curves before.
It's a definite thumbs up.
Okay.
There are definitely some issues with this game.
Okay, see that right there I didn't get before. You're teasing me, John. What's
going on? Man, there's some game design sort of choices that they made where it's not fully streamlined. Like in the stealth sections, there's stealth sections in this game. By the way, there's a lot of like different varied gameplay, but the stealth sections.
Stealth sections. Say it with us, kids. The stealth sections by the seashore.
Yes. All right. Those pieces in particular, every time you encounter an enemy and they reveal you lose your stealthness state or whatever.
Okay, you are banned from saying that word.
There's like this door that will drop and prevent you from leaving that room until you kill the enemy, and that happens every single time. Even if there are multiple enemies in the same room, you're going to go through this animation where the door closes on you, then you kill the enemy and the door opens again. You have to wait a few seconds, then the next enemy sees you and the door closes again.
Okay, and they're aware of this. Like the AI is like, damn it, what's the there's a word for perceptive AI that's escaping right now, but the AI progresses. The AI learns.
It's not that. It's interrupting gameplay. So you're playing and you're trying to avoid getting caught, and then they catch you, and then all of a sudden you have to wait for this animation to play out before you gain back control and are able to go through. So yeah, there's like weird moments like that kind of takes away control, takes away some of the fun and the interestingness of the set pieces that are happening.
That's not too bad, as long as like the stuff is relatively minor, just those annoyances, and the rest of the game overall is.
It's very impressive especially for an indie game. It's the artwork and the music alone is like very top notch. So definitely a thumbs up from me.
All right, what's it available for?
It's available on PC. I believe it's $15, and it is coming out for other systems. I know for certain the Switch, but that's these things are later on. But for right now, PC on Steam.
All right, cool. Thank you. Just Johnny giving us the lowdown on Owlboy. If you have anything to say about that, hit us up at geekdownradio@gmail.com, or shoot us a message, or jump in the live chat on Twitch right now on twitch.tv/thegeekdown. But I need to go into Takashi Miike's, or Miike Takashi, depends on where you're from and how you say it.